Okay, Be'ezus Hashem, today's daf. We're beginning Be'ezus Hashem, Masechta Kidushin, and we begin with the first daf, the first page. Okay, so the Mishnah begins right on the screen here. Ha'isha, the woman. So the woman means that the woman that is over 12 years old, let's say, niknas can be acquired, b'sholish drachim, in three ways. Now, this just note the word sholish, and note the word derachim. Derachim means usually derech means like a road. So shalish derachim, three roads you can acquire a woman in marriage. Now, what we're talking about over here is based on the pasuk that we saw before, which was ki yikach ish or the ki yikach ish uvala. The Torah says when a man acquires a woman or takes a woman, uba'ala, and has intercourse with her. So that's how the Torah describes how a person acquires a woman. Okay. Now, uba'ala, this is a common mistake people make when they read the Chumash. I wish I forgot to bring up the here. Let me bring up the pasuk. The pasuk says ki yikach ish uba'ala, right over here. A man takes a woman. Now, this taking doesn't describe how you're taking the woman. So the Gemara is going to learn that taking means if you take her by giving her kesef kedushin. You give her a little coin, a little value, and then you acquire her. Ubala, and this is a common misconception, doesn't mean and he does intercourse with her. Ubala means or he does a bia with her, then that's another matter of acquiring a woman. And this acquisition of a woman means it's not your full wife. You still need to do chuppah. But by acquiring her these ways, she can no longer be free to marry somebody else unless she gets a get from the person that gave her, who acquired her this way. So let's read it again. Ha'isha niknes, a woman is acquired v'shalosh drachim, in three roads. The kindness atzma, and she could acquire herself back. I mean, she gets her freedom back as an independent person, b'shtrei drachim, in two roads. The reason why I have the word shalosh and the word shtei highlighted is because the word shalosh and the word shtei is masculine, is feminine, is a feminine way of saying it. Shalosh is feminine in the Hebrew word, and it should really say shalosha. So the Gemara is going to deal with that. Anyway, so Nick, what are the three ways you acquire a woman? Niknes, you could acquire her bekesef, by giving her money, and by giving her a coin, you say harei at mukudeshesli. Bishtar, another way is you write it on a document, and document probably can mean even a piece of paper. Harei at mukudeshesli. Here you are mukudeshes to me, even if the document is not worth any money. Even if it's not worth a pruta, that's another way to acquire a woman. And ubabia, and having intercourse with her. Now, both by shtar and bia, let us assume that you also have to mention in your words, you have to express, I am being mekadesh you. Ubabia is another way. Here's an interesting way, and this seems to be the Torah's most explicit way, how you mekadesh a woman, which means in front of two people, you have to say to a woman, I'm going to be mekadesh you by having intercourse with you, and then they go into a room together. They don't have to, the Aiden do not have to witness, so to speak, the actual act. But according to the Rambam, they do have to witness the actual act. So it's a little strange. But anyway, these are the three things. If you do this in front of witnesses, right, then a woman is now acquired by a man. Bekesef, now how much money do you have to give over to a woman so that you acquire her? What is the amount? So hold on, I'm sorry. So there's something on my screen. So how much money do you give over to a woman? So the Gemara says, B'shami says bedina v'shavadina. You have to give her a dinner or a shavadina, or the value of a dinar, which is a large coin. It's like it's I think 1/25 of a dinar's off. But this is Beishamai's odd because most things in the Torah have to do with a pruta. But Beishamai says by kedushin the requirement is to give her a dinar. And as long as you don't give her a dinar, let's call a dinar a quarter, then she's not mukudashes. Ubeis Hillel, I remember Hillel says, bepruta uvashava pruta, by giving her a pruta, let's call that a penny, or the value of a pruta. In other words, you don't have to give actual coins. You could actually give something of value to the woman, and that's how you acquire her. Says the Mishnah, Bekama hi pruta. Since it's Beis Hillel, and we paskin like Beis Hillel, let us try to find at the time of the Mishnah what was the value of a pruta. So the Mishnah says, Echod mishmoina, it's an eighth of Be'isr, Italki of the Italian, the word kuf is added here, but it really is supposed to say Italyi, the Italian Isser, the Greek Italian Isser, so 1/8 of that was called a pruta. So I guess 8 prutas made an Isser in the Italian currency. So those are the 3 ways that a man acquires a woman, not to be his wife in total. In other words, if he's a Kohen, he can't be matama to her unless you go to the chuppah. If she dies, the husband's not going to inherit her, but unless you go to the chuppah. But it's enough that you acquire the woman. This is called erusin, that you acquire a woman such that if she wants to decide to marry somebody else, she now needs a divorce in order to be free. So the koines atzma, and this woman could acquire herself to be an independent person in 2 ways. Like we said, b'shtei drachim, she gets her independence back. Beget, by getting a divorce, as we learned last Masechta, over mesisas habal, or if the Baal passes away. In those 2 cases, she acquires her freedom back as an independent person. Now the Mishnah says, but hayavama, again, a yavama is a woman that now falls to yibam. A man died, left over no children, so this woman falls to the brother of that man. So at the time that, until not anything happens, she's called a shemeres yavam. She's waiting for the yavam to make the first move. So how does a yavam acquire his yavama? Bebia, by having relations with her. By having relations with her, now she becomes his full-fledged wife. There's no need for chuppah over here because she went to chuppah with the brother. So she doesn't need a chuppah. By bia already, she's a full married woman. That's the only way a yavam could acquire the yavama to be his full-fledged wife. And now after that, bia, the only way she gets freedom if she gets a get. Now Rashi points out, we learned in the Sechti Yavamas that sometimes a yavam will give his wife, let's say kesef or shtar, even though the Chumash says that the only way to acquire yavama is with bia. But if a yavam would give kesef or shtar to his yavama, they are sort of like engaged midrabanim, that no other brother can intervene and say, I want to marry the yavama. Once one brother gives yavam, once the one brother gives a kedushin, even though it's only going to be a drabanan, because the only way to acquire yavama is with bia, it works in a certain way that now none of the brothers have a right to take on this yavama. It's reserved for one brother. The koines atzma, a yavama will acquire her independence back, b'chalitza, if she gets a chalitza, uv'misa seyavam, if the brothers die, or let's say it was just one brother that was ready to do chalit, to miyabim her. If he died and there's no other brothers left, this yavama is now free to marry anybody who she wants. Okay, so the Gemara says like this: for Isha niknas, the Gemara is questioning on this question niknes, acquired. Ma'ishna hacha detani hi Isha niknes, u'ma'ishna hasam detani ish mekadesh. The question is, how come in the next parak, the parak is called Ha'ish Mekadesh. The man gives Kedushin to his wife. And here we start off the Masechta by saying Ha'isha Nichnas, that the woman is acquired. The Masechta is called Kedushin, right? So wouldn't you think that the first words of the Masechta should involve the word Kedushin? So it should say Ha'isha Miskadeshes. The woman acquires Kedushin. Why do we use the more transaction type of description called niknes, like you buy a piece of land or you buy a car? It should say ish mekadesh. And for the Gemara.
Ja.
Hi, Shalom, mit Schein ungeheuben, Hauptschein Umfang Masechta Kedushin.
Okay.
Und von jetzt und weiter fangt man an halbnan.
Halbnan.
Okay, mit was geworden a Sach früher jetzt.
Okay.
And for the Gemara, so the Gemara says at the bottom of Beis Amud Aleph, Mishum de Kaboil Misna Kasef. The reason why that we want to say the Masechta begins Isha Niknes because we want to introduce the concept of Kesef, that a woman gets acquired by giving her geld. The Kesef Menulam, that's always the good question. The Kesef Menulam, where do we know that a woman gets acquired with money? The pasuk only says Ki yikach ish isha, a man takes a woman, but it doesn't say how. So how do we know that Kesef is one of the ways that a woman gets acquired? So the Gemara says it's Gzeir Shava. Gamar, we learn it from Kicha Mistei Ephraim. We learn it because it's Gzeir Shava, Kicha from Stei Ephraim. What's the Gzeir Shava? Siv Hachet says over here, Yikach Ish Isha, when a man takes a woman. Uksiv Hasam, it says over there, when Avraham purchased the Ma'ara Samach Pela, he said, Nisati Kesef Hasada. He told Ephraim, I'm giving you the money for this field. Kach mimeni, take it from me. I want to buy this field. So we see that the word kach is associated with the word kesef by Avraham Avinu. So by derivation through the Gzeir Shava, we're going to say that the kiyikach that says by Kedushin also is referring to money. Okay? It also refers to money.
It says, case of Stabavio.
Yeah, that's right.
So it has to be Kesef.
So Milan.
So it says the Kesef.
So Vivi Lentman Kesef. Where do we learn Kesef from? We learn Kesef from a Gzeir Shava Kicha Mistei Ephraim. And now the Gemara says, so that why don't we say Isha Nikhes? Why do we say Niknes? Because the Kicha Ikra Kinyan. What the Gemara means to say, you buy a field, you can use Kinyan. Kinyan means to buy a field. Soda Ashakona Avram. Avram purchased the field. So the word purchase is applied to field. So we can extend that and use the word purchase when a person marries a woman. He's actually purchasing the woman. We go to Beis Beis. Iname Sodais Bakesef Yiknu. The pasuk says, where do you know that you purchase that the word kinyan is associated with the word field? Because it says sodais, fields, bakasef, with money, yiknu, you will purchase. So therefore the word yiknu is very much associated with the word kesef. And actually kesef is associated with the word field, which was the source of where we learned that because Avram purchased the field of Ma'aras Machpelah with kesef, that's how we know that you could purchase your wife by giving her kesef. Therefore, it says Ha'isha niknes, that the woman is purchased. That's why it says the word purchased over here. So now we answered the word purchased. Now we go back to the first word. Why do we say that the woman is purchased? Why don't we say V'nisna Hasam Ha'ish Kaina? Why don't we say over there in the second parak that the man purchases? Why do we say Ha'ish Mikadesh over there? It says the second parak, it says Ish Mikadesh. And for the Gemara, that's the name of this Masechta. Mi'ikara Tana Lashna Dishna Daraisa. When we start the Masechta, we start off expressing ourselves with the language that's written in the Torah, which is called kinyan, purchasing something. But once we get into the Masechta, Tano Lishna D'Rabbanan, we want to use more the language that the rabbis use when a certain person gets engaged to his wife. What is the language that the rabbis use? Umay Lishna D'Rabbanan. What is the language that the rabbis use? The Asala Akulik Alma Kehegdish, that a person prohibits. When a person is Mekadesh his wife, it should remind him that the word Hegdish means that now she is now Asr on the rest of the world. She's prohibited on the rest of the world, and she's designated only for you as the husband. And it's like a holy word. This is a holy institution. When a person goes under the Kedushin with his wife, he's actually making her like something holy, something that's also to the rest of the world, but specifically designated for him. And that's the musar of the whole Masechta. So that's the word why we use kedusha. So now the question is, okay, why? Now we get back to the first word. The nisna hacha, let it say over here, ha'ish kaina. Then let it say over here that the man purchased. Why do we start the Masechta and say the isha is purchased? Isha niknas. Why don't we start off with the man? And for the Gemara, mishum de kaboya lemisnei seifa, because the end of the Mishnah says the koines atzma, the woman acquires her independence. So we want to say that it's up to the woman to acquire her independence. So bidida, we need to say that expression referring to the woman. So taninami reisha. So the beginning of the Mishnah also says bidida, that she gets acquired, because the end of the Mishnah has to say she acquires herself. That only expression only can be expressed as the woman acquiring herself. So the Gemara doesn't understand that. V'nisna ha'ish kaineh u'makneh. Why doesn't it say that the man acquires and actually can sell the woman back to herself? In other words, since the man is the one who writes the get, it could be expressed this way: the ish kaina, the ish purchases the woman, umakna, and can sell the woman back to herself. And says the Gemara, yes, the man has the choice to sell the woman back to herself by writing a get, but some things are not up to you. Mishum de'ika misas habal. There's a way that the woman acquires herself, her independence, that has nothing to do with the husband. The husband just passed away. The lav iu kamakna, that's not him that's selling her back to herself. Min shamayahu demaknala. It's heaven doing the job and giving her back her independence from this man. So since that is not something that the man does, therefore the Mishnah doesn't express it as umakna. It actually expresses it as v'koines atzma, and therefore the beginning of the Mishnah also refers to isha niknas, that the woman is purchased. The Iba is if you want to say itana kaina, if our Mishnah would have started off and say ha'ish kaina, that the man purchases. So, and we're starting off with the man. So then havamina, I would have thought afila bal karcha, even against the will. If a man gives a kesef kedushin to any woman, automatically it's his wife. That's why it says Tana. That's why we said haisha niknais. The woman gets purchased. She has to agree to it. Only then does kedusha word. Shaloi medata. But if she doesn't agree to it, law, then it's not a good kedusha. Now the Gemara just finishes off over here. Umar Irya, what's the reason, the Tana Shalosh, that it says it in the feminine word? The word Shalosh is feminine. Listen to Shloisha. Let it say Shloisha in the masculine. When you're writing Torah words, it's always in the masculine way, in the Zohar way. And Shloisha is Zohar, Shalosh is Nekeva. So why are we saying, instead of Shloisha Drachim, we're saying Shalosh Drachim? Answers the Gemara, Mishum de kaboya lemisnei derech, because we want to use this word derech. Instead of the word davar, we're using the word derech, the three roads that a woman gets acquired. The derech, the word derech, lashon nekevahu, is a feminine Hebrew word. So shalosh, the ksiv, how do you know the word derech is a feminine Hebrew word? The ksiv, it says in the pasuk, v'datul lahem es haderech, you should let the Jewish people know the road that yelchu ba, that they should go in it. So ba is a feminine word. So therefore derech is a feminine word, and it's teaching you, the Torah should be taught, that teaches you the derech that you should go, that teaches you the right road you should take in life. So in that sense, the word derech is a feminine word, therefore shalosh is a feminine word. We still don't know why it says derech. Let it say davar and make it a masculine word. But we'll get to that question. But now you understand why it says feminine. It says the Gemara of Halahoditanya that we learned in the Brisa. Shiva drachim. Here, shiva is masculine. Drachim is what? Is it a feminine word? Boitkinas azav. You check azav. Azav is a man who had a seminal emission, but it was a sickly seminal emission that makes him a tameh. So the question is, you check to see, the Mishnah says, in the different ways how this emission came from his body. If it came because he overate something or overdrank something, then he doesn't become tummy. It has to just come like without him doing something that causes it. Anyway, why nisne sheva? If derech is a nekeva word, why does this say shiv'ah? Answers the Gemara, mishum tekaboy lemisne derech, because it wants to say the word derech. Now the Gemara takes an about face. V'ashkecham derech the ikri lashon zacha. The word derech is a zachar word. The pasuk says by war, b'derech echad yetzu elecha uv'shiva drachim yanusu lefanecha. In Parshas Kisavei, which we'll have, that it says in one way they're going to go out to you, and you're going to run away in 7 different ways during the war against the Goyim. And this is part of the Teichach. What it does say, it doesn't say b'derech achas, b'derech echas, or it doesn't say the sheva derachim. It says shiv'ah. It says echad, which is masculine word. So we see that the word derech is masculine. So if you just now establish that the word derech is masculine and it's also feminine, kashi kroy hadadi, the psukim are seen to contradict each other. Is it masculine or feminine? The kasha name masnisanadan. The Mishnahs are difficult. What does the Mishnah hold? Is the word derech feminine or derech is masculine? And for the Gemara, kroy hadadi lekasha. The psukim are not difficult for each other. The word derech could be in both ways. Hacha, when it's referring to Torah, when derech refers to Torah, like Vayidatan lehem as a derech hashiyel chuba, when Moshe is supposed to tell them the road that you should follow in life through the Torah, the b'Torah the Torah ikri lashon nekeva. The word Torah is a feminine word. The ksiv, the pasuk says, Torah Hashem tamima meshivas nafash. So therefore, since Torah is complete, it restores the soul, and it says Toras, which is a feminine word. So therefore, in the usage when it refers to Torah, kasav lashon nekeva. That's why the word derech, turns into nekeva, because it's modifying the Torah, and Torah itself is feminine. Hasam over there, that pasuk that says it's talking about the people who go to war. So the darke shel ish lasas mechama, the ein darke shel ish lasas mechama. There, the people that are generally other soldiers are men, not women. So therefore, that derech is referring to the people in war who are running away because they're losing the war, and therefore it's modifying a males. So therefore, kasav lo below shain zacha. Then, in that context, the word derech is a male type of language. Says the Gemara. Masnisin adodi lekasha. The Mishnahs are not a stira with each other. Therefore, in our Mishnah, which is Hanisha Niknas B'Shalish Drachim, since we're talking about a woman, Ketani La B'Shash Nekeva. That's why the derech in our Mishnah means Nekeva. Hasan the Legabe Ish Koi, the darke shel ish libadek, vein darke shel isha libadek. Since the Mishnah is telling you that by the man, he's the one has to check that his emission is not subject because of another cause. It's the actual just naturally happen, because a woman who has a blood emission, it doesn't matter if she injured herself, any blood coming out of her, she becomes a zava or a nida. But a man, you have to check. Is it because he did something, exercise, and that's why he had the sickly seminal emission? So since it's only the man that has to check, not that the woman, therefore the word derech over there is Tanu Lashon Zacha. The derech in that Mishnah means a Lashon Zacha. So now the Gemara asked the bomb question. So you're telling me that it's shalosh nekeva, because the word derech, it wants to say the word derech, which is also a nekeva word because it's modifying, because we're dealing with a woman. But why don't we say the more better word, which is devarim? My tamatana shalosh mishum derachim. You tell me that we're saying the feminine word because of the word derachim. Nisni devarim, the nisni shloisha. Let it say the more common word, like throughout Shas, like you say it every morning. Elu devarim shein lohem shi'er. Right? So you use, when you're describing things in the Torah, you don't call it a road, you call it way, you call it things. So let it say the more common word, devarim, which for sure is a male word, v'nisna shloisha, and say the word shloisha. So why does it say derech? So the Gemara says, mishum de kamoya lemisni bia, because the Mishnah wants to say, the word bia. Ubia ikri derech, and bia is called derech. So in other words, it would say devarim, like it normally says, elu devarim. But here, since one of the ways that a person is mekadesh his wife is through intercourse, and bia is written, the way the Tanakh describes bia is sometimes it's called derech. The derech geref ba'alma kain derech ishim na'afes. The way a man is with a young lady, so is the woman who is an adulteress. Whatever it uses, it calls bia. Another nice way of calling bia is derech. So the Gemara says, wait a second, hatinach bia kesef v'shtar ma'ikal ameima. So kesef v'shtar. What's the story about that? Kesef and shtar is the other two ways to acquire a woman, and that is not associated with the word derech. So why does it say derech? B'shum bia, because of bia. That's why it says the word derech, because bia is called derech, even though kesef and shtar is not called derech. So the Gemara says v'tanu tarte atechade. It uses one word of derech because of bia, and sacrifices that to use that word instead of the normal word of devarim, because it fits with bia, but it doesn't fit with kesef and shtar. Really, you should use devarim because devarim fits mostly with kesef and shtar and not with bia. Why do we use the derech? Just because one of the three is bia. Answers the Gemara, Hani namech tzorech bia ninhu. Here also is tzarech bia. Even kesef and shtar, the whole point of getting engaged is that you should go to chuppah and be able to do bia with your wife. So that's why it says the word drachim. So if you go back into the Mishnah, why does it say hisha niknas shloisha drachim? Why does it say drachim? Because the word drachim, derech, is another nice way to say bia, and the whole point of
one way, three ways
to do bia. Now we'll finish up over here another minute and say like this: the iboy sayman. This is a beautiful thing. Why does it say derech? There are three roads to get to a woman, because Hamani Reb Shimon goes according to Reb Shimon. Tanya, we learned in the Braisha. Reb Shimon says, why does the Torah say ki yigach ish isha, man takes a woman? Why didn't it say like when a woman is taken by a man? Why doesn't it say it that way? It's a man seems to do the chasing over here, because that's the way it should be, and a boy should know that. It would solve a lot of the shidduch problems. The road shall ish lechazar al isha. He has to take the road. He has to take his steps to search for his wife. The ein darka shall isha lechazar. It's not the woman looking for the man. It's the man looking for the woman, because the woman was a part. If you're looking for your zivig, that zivig was your original zivig from the time of Adam Arishon, because that's a part of your rib. Mashal Adam. This is a parable to a man of the loy aveda, and he lost an aveda. Mi choyzal mi. Who's searching for who? Al bal aveda mechaza al aveda. It's the one that lost something. He's looking for the one thing that he lost. So a man, when is searching for his wife, he should view it as if he lost something and has to take the steps and whatever it takes to find his wife, and not wait for the shotgun to give you a call and let it come to you. You have to make it happen for yourself, and that's why it says derech. Isha niknas b'shloisha drachim. There's a road that you have to travel in order to be mikadesh a woman. That's why we end. So that will end over here. Mitzvah we'll do tomorrow.